Hi, 7th grade. Today we're going to be doing lesson 4.1 on page 72, and that is area models and sample space. Our gotta check today is going to be page 73, and it's going to be B1F. So there are lots of options in B1, so B1F is going to be our gotta check. Remember, your homework for this evening is page 80, numbers 1 through 4, and number 6. So skip 5, but do 1 to 4 and 6. And then your bell ringer in 3 sentences, which we'll do in class today, is page 87, number 23. All right, let's get started. So, lesson 4.1 introduces a new concept called an area model in order to show sample space. Now, the first thing you're going to think about when you look at an area model is, why do we need this? We already know how to do the tree diagram for sample space. What's the beauty of area models? And we're going to start with a relatively simple scenario, but the real reason we need area models is for later. By the end of lesson investigation 4, when we're in 4.3 and 4.4, we're going to be doing a more complex probability model, and an area model is going to be really helpful. So that's why we need it. Okay? So let's take a look at the example on page 72. So the example on page 72 says that we have 2 buckets. So bucket 1 contains 3 marbles, 1 red and 2 green. So I'm going to draw out bucket 1, and it says it contains 1 red marble. Let's draw that in. And 2 green marbles. Let's draw those guys. There they are. Okay. Then it says bucket 2 contains 4 marbles. So the 4 marbles it contains is a yellow. Sorry, I don't have a yellow marker, so we'll just kind of outline that one. And it contains 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 green. So let me draw all of these in. So we have 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 yellow. Okay, so the first thing it asks us to do is to draw an area model that will represent what happens when we draw 2 marbles, 1 from each bucket. So an area model is just another way of talking about sample space. So it's representing sample space we're using area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a square. Most of the time when we use an area model, we draw a square. And I'm going to indicate the marbles options that I have. So this is going to be bucket 1. And on top, I'm going to make this bucket 2. Okay? In bucket 1, I have 3 options. I have a red, I have a green, and I have a green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw sort of an area diagram with this. Okay? In my other bucket, I have a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow. So I need 4 sections for bucket 2 because there are 4 marbles. Okay? Within this area model then, I can then start writing out what my possible combinations are. So I can see that I have a red red, I can see that I have a red blue, up here I have a red green, and over here I have a red yellow. Next, the greens, I have a green red down here, I have a green blue, a green green, and a green yellow. And then on the bottom, I have these same ones again. I have a green red, green blue, green green, and green yellow. Okay? The way to find the total number of outcomes is just by counting the squares. So if I have 3 squares times 4 squares on this side, or 3 sections on each side, I have a total of 12 outcomes. Okay, this also helps me find the probability. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to find the probability of choosing a green and a red. Okay, well, what I can see is I have 2 options where I have a green and a red. My green and red options are right here and right here. So what I can see is I have 2 possibilities out of 12 total outcomes. That's the denominator of my probability fraction. So I can reduce this to 1/6. So the probability of choosing a green and then a red is 1/6. Okay? All right, let's try the got it check. So remember, your got it check is on page 73, and we're doing B1F. All right, and that is finding the probability of a green and a blue. All right, go ahead and pause the video and we'll come back and see the answer. Okay, let's find the probability of getting a green and a blue. I can use the same chart that I created in my notes, and as I take a look at my got it check, there are 2 possibilities. I can get a green-blue right here, and I can get a green-blue right here. So if there are 2 favorable outcomes, my probability is 2/12, because remember, there were still 12 total outcomes, and that gives me a reduced probability of 1/6. So the probability of choosing a green and then a blue was the same as the probability for choosing a green and then a red. Okay, that's it for the lesson today. Remember, your homework was page 80, numbers 1 through 4, and also number 6. And your bell ringer for today and 3 sentences, page 87, number 23. All right, that's Monday's lesson. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.